Welcome. This is a Soar Speaks dual transmission with my dear friend Celestine Star. I hope you enjoy. I obviously have my practice for getting centered and connected, but I thought it would be fun to hear you share the way that you start and open up your field, and then I'll just add in anything that feels
let's
good.
do it together.
Yeah.
Okay, so just recognizing ourselves and bringing ourselves into present time through the breath, and just taking that deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as we breathe in through the nose, we feel the breath of life entering the body and moving through the body, gathering tension, relaxing shoulders, and breathing out, allowing the flow of energy now to move downward through the hands, out the feet, and recognizing the opening of the heels is really important. Letting the energy flow from the crown, past the eyes and nose, jaws, neck, shoulders, down through the hands, drop into the heart. Breathing in and letting go. Allowing ourselves, as we let go, relaxing the stomach muscles and the hips. Letting the energy of the cranium to the sacrum straighten. I always feel like there's a thread from the North Star energy coming down through the crown and anchoring in the sacrum. We split it in two, and you feel the energies now moving into the earth. And if you choose, you can anchor to the crystalline core, or a black tourmaline, or any kind of beautiful stone that you'd like to anchor to. Breathing in. And we can go into the 0 point, which is recognizing when you take a breath in, the top of the breath, and just holding it for a minute. And feeling the consciousness now being able to be free to expand outward to the reaches of creation. And when you're ready, breathing out. And the bottom of the breath again, you can feel the 0 point. And the lower energy fields stretch out and expand. And then one more breath to the top, holding the breath. And this time letting go of the breath and just holding that 0 point of consciousness, that expansiveness. And in the calmness of that peacefulness, the 0 point, we begin to create a turquoise energy field around our auric field, knowing that our consciousness expands beyond. But in our auric field, we see turquoise light right on the outer edges with golden speckles that we allow for any emoting of negativity, transmuting. Seeing it rotate counterclockwise so we can access the higher dimensional fields of self. As we sit on our sit bones, feeling very grounded. And I'll let you take us into the quantum self.
Thank you. So now that we're clear, open, aligned, sealed, and protected in a shimmering white iridescent pyramid of light, we're going to expand our sit bones and open up the portals, both at the tailbone and the crown of the head, matching and mirroring them evenly. with the apex in the heart, activating the double tetrahedron Merkaba field, spinning it on turbo speed, allowing these 3 hollow spheres to start to harmonically syncopate and spin, removing any wobbles so that they have a hum to them. And our field will raise in vibration up and up and up as we call to Source Seal Self, activating the antenna, shooting up into the heavens through the solar sun, central sun, galactic sun and beyond. And this is a stargate directly to Source Seal Self, creator of all that is, home base to our soul seed. And at the same time, we're stretching our body of light, our being, rooting down, anchoring down, sinking into the earth family, new consciousness grids to the very center crystalline core, tapping in, plugging into our core essence so that all and any transmissions that are benefiting the whole are transmitted smoothly and easily directly into the soul matrix of the earth. Our healing, the quantum healing, is a healing for all. And our branches rise up, connecting to all of our star kin, angels, guides, ascended masters, high council, clearing the one open channel for divinity to flow through. It's just going to be like that today. Coming back, centering ourselves in the heart. Huge infinity loop goes from the center of the earth to the center of our source, back to the heart. So we're integrating, weaving, alchemizing, and assimilating all the gifts, the codes, the blessings, smoothly and easily through the core self, divine self, embodied self, the Holy Trinity, benefiting all levels, places, spaces, and times. Now we are ready to fully receive, opening to greater levels of grace and ease. Source has heard our prayers, our wishes, dreams, desires. Our conversation has been blessed by master level soul self. Our future presence joins us in this communal dance of co-creative magic with one another. My source self honors your source self, the source pulsing through all beings in their holographic form, swimming in the sea of consciousness where any and all infinite possibilities are waiting for us at the edge, the leading edge of existence.
Radiant glory. Oh. Source self wishes to speak.
Please.
Wants us to speak about neglect. The neglect of the inner state of existence among the humanities. And recognizing the operation of being in a blinded state of beingness, in that one is not aware of the automatic responses that are entrapped within the spherical complex of the emotional bodies. The emotional bodies of the human structure, the physical human structure, runs along the lower meridians and are connected directly through the heart into the sourcial complex of self. When there are entrapments of experiences that are brought into the circuitry of the physical body, they are held as points of light within the synapses. If one is injured in the heart emotionally, the synapses anchors an encoded message into the pure vibrational light within the brain, the physical tissues of the brain, holding there in suspended time and space, as you know, and you can speak about this. But until this modulated light that's in the synapses can be felt within through the heart, and the consciousness bringing that awareness to a particular experience and sending the message into the physical body to release that memory. The memory begins to build, and there is a connectedness to one experience after another. Depending on the focus of the person, whether what has more meaning. If something has more meaning, the goodness, the happiness, the joyousness, all of that is placed in another portion of the brain, synapses, encased in the light frequency that stays hidden, and as it is, as the person who exists within the social matrix of humanity then has other experiences, these circuitries light up and cause reactions. So hidden deep within, looking at these circuitries. So we'll let you take it if you choose from there, because there's different complexes and ways of releasing that may be of interest.
Yeah, beautiful continuation from our conversation that we had yesterday, and showing Jen that the difference between emotions and feelings and the emotional body is where most of the work needs to be done within herself and others, in terms of holding these memories and storing the webbing, the circuitry that's creating a particular experience or template. And then we were showing her yesterday that the emotions are intertwined with the fascia, and the fascia is holding a particular contraction in the field, which is what we're relating to in terms of tension and stress and interface with the nervous system. And so that sheath over the body is the emotional charge someone is holding. These higher emotional states creating a permeable, expanded, receptive experience. And those lower emotional states, or more contracted emotional states, creating the tension and tightness and closeness within the field that can be physically seen and manifested through the tissues and the fascia. We also hear you and relate to the samskaras, the tissue in the brain that holds these memories and reverberate through the body like a pinball machine that can be mapped for the certain ailments, imbalances, illness, and traumas that show up. So the brain holograms is one of the quickest, fastest ways to clear the memory banks and flush the fascia, flush the quantum field with the new circuitry and upgrades. So the memories in the cells, increasing the cellular voltage and resetting the original blueprint, will then allow the full functionality, the optimized functionality of radiant self back into the physical form. The question came up for Jen yesterday in her session of like, is this going to interrupt the person's growth and process to remove the samskaras and traumas? Do they need to play something out in their lifetime as part of their growth, joy, genius development? And there is, all paths lead back to source, and there's no one way. So sometimes the longer path is the high path. Sometimes the quick quantum leap is the most efficient, effective way. So there's no one way, and it will not interrupt a person's karma or dharma to quickly expedite the process of healing. So quantum healing happens on all levels simultaneously. How we integrate that into our life experience and field will be the growth and development that that person will be experiencing. Meaning they will play out a new scenario which will heal and reveal the samskaras that have been released. So we don't have to continually replay our trauma in order to heal it. By living the new, optimized, hollow paradigm of more divine self, divine light flowing through, is the recognition of the healing. And this is a big quantum leap for her in her reality to truly understand and take on that allowing source to flow through and create a divine spark of spontaneous healing of these traumas, issues, holdings, tissues is not only 100% okay, celebrated, allowed, applauded. There's no more need for replay and suffering the way that she has had the relationship to healing and trauma, and working hard through it, making it happen, like earning the badges, the hard work of healing, and just removing that belief system that it has to be hard, it has to be long, it has to be arduous, that's how you earn it, is the magic and miracle of the quantum experience that she's been tapping into for the last decade or so. So we're just going to offer the brain hologram upgrades for everyone, all those that are interested in receiving, opening up all the receptor sites, allowing, willing, full permission for this to happen on all levels, places, spaces, and times. All memories are instantaneously revealed and healed, integrated, alchemized, transformed into the wholeness and oneness, receiving the lessons, the blessings, the gifts, releasing the rest, composting, eliminating the waste, extracting the golden nuggets, carrying the precious stones and gems into the heart, into the sacred space where we collect and harness all of our gifts so they can pulse around the heart space, into the bloodstream, into the circulatory system, informing, infusing into every cell, enlivening the bloodstreams, the lifelines. Coming back into the 3 hollow spheres, the brain hologram, heart matrix, and womb space. These will be, as the brain holograms are being upgraded, all 4 levels. We can go into those if you want, but we're just going to do it quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
Hold on.
Doing fine.
Yeah. So from that rearranging of so it looks like a big holographic sacred geometric light ball, all these geometries above the head, and we rearrange them, just like a little, put them into the brain, upgrading the software systems, changing the synapses, the neural transmitters, the pathways, marrying and matching that with the heart, creating a synchronization and harmonization with the infinity loops, both left and right, up and down and all around into the hollow spheres for the spin. And then coming into the womb space, so going into the emotional body through the lower geometries, sen lines, meridians, nadis, unraveling, deepening that into the grounding rod, going down into the center of the earth, clearing and cleansing these, unraveling, releasing the reverse spins out of the knees, out of the hips, down into the feet. Anchoring, 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 and then calling upon the new crystalline codes, making more space and room for the activated DNA, pristine divine blueprints from the star seeds that have been planted, that are reclaimed back into our womb space. Creative life flow, the freedom, the genius. Allowing our full blossoming into our expression, creative expression, sexual expression, embodied expression, interactive expression, feeling safe, secure, welcomed, at home in our bodies on the earth at this time, completing our purpose, our passion, our mission, our plan for being here. Taking our star seeds with us, letting them fully integrate into solar plexus, alchemical transformation into the heart, into the violet flame. Divine spark fills every cell. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dancing golden spiraling light. Back up into the brain hologram, marrying and mixing core self, sourcial self. Balancing the left and right hemispheres, turning on the dolphin wave repatterning. Coming back online. This is the same as like seeing. You're describing the people that were half alive or half embodied. It was only half of their brain. So we turn on the brain function.
Turning it on.
Full capacity through the corpus callosum.
Yeah.
Coming back into the, we're just going to call it the back lobe. You guys have all kinds of fun names, but balancing the frontal lobe with the back lobe. It's changing even the relationship to the Muladhara. Beautiful. Coming down, down deep through the eyes, activating the pineal in a new way, lighting up the whole central pathway. This electric, liquid, rainbow, light, love plasma is showering down through the central pathway. Like nectar, it's filling this column and seeping into the emotional body, filling and saturating the surface of the skin into the fascia. And the fascia, the webbing is starting to unwind and detangle, similar to those balls of yarn, but the web is everywhere. And it's being recalibrated in its sacred geometrics. So it's like the crystalline of water when it's being fed and transmitted these higher codes of light, love, joy, harmony, peace. The fascia continues to unwind and unravel to take on a new geometry. And that'll be set autonomic to continue to unravel and unwind. This will take months, but we'll just give it a couple days of like imprinting the new codes, the new quantum light filaments turning on, golden threads weaving in and out, healing the samskaras that are in the tissues.
Feels so good. Clear.
I welcome your input, collaboration on any and all topics, if there's anything more with that.
Source is saying to take a moment and do some toning, to like when you are finished to with that one little with the filaments and getting that in place, to take a moment to do some resonant sound. So when you're complete,
Please, yes, ready.
And so feeling the force of creation, the nature forces as they move through the body. activating and moving the filaments, how free they move. There's freedom in the different parts of the brain. There's an emptiness, there's a release. And so connecting now the channel from the cranium down the spine, anchoring into the sacrum, and the different holospheres of the body, feeling the energies now cleared, the resonant field. And as we take a breath, we can tone the sound of the heart, because the heart is now needing to be activated, giving permission to open the field of the heart and allow the love, the connectedness to the inner world, to the outer world, above and below, all parts of the synapses. And we take a breath. And one more, really feeling the love of the self. And we feel the consciousness awaken, the love just moving through the circuitry as we take a breath of life and let it move through.
So I'm seeing, happy to do more toning, but I'm seeing the higher self coming in behind the heart, behind the back chakras, sending beams of light, these different beautiful iridescent laser beams of light going into each chakra from behind. And that is filling those spaces, the emptiness, the void, the neglect, the loneliness, the disconnect is now being restored online. Higher self integration.
Yeah, I'm seeing the golden white light. Perfect.
That
And
comes
the
through.
joyousness of the work that's been done. And just envisioning, taking a moment to feel what your life, the openness of the path before you, and what that means, how that is to have an open path in relationship to others. How does it feel different? How are you breathing different? How is your body sitting, standing, laying different? What are you welcoming in your life right now?
Well, as we merge with master level future soul self, already living and being in the behavior, characteristics, and version of reality that she is calling forth from her heart's deepest soul desire. The skin, the fascia, the nervous system is open and flowing. There's a calm, energized feeling that washes over the entire being. The eyes are open and soft with the light, taking in the beauty, relishing in the deliciousness of the sounds and smells, and the senses are heightened. There's an openness and willingness to play and explore, experience in the body in a new way. And there is a softness in the field. There is an availability in the space for all beings to be, an acceptance and a celebration.
Feeling kind of a stillness. It's like sitting in the eye of the needle, the eye of the storm, you know. And this one is ever grateful. It's opening a space for more integration of the primal divine self to reside deeper within my structural, physical, emotional beingness. And my heart feels free. There's a connection from the heart to the brain. And I'm digitally checking the different places where we've done some clearing, and it feels very spacious. There's tension that is gone, and I'm feeling a little bit more elongated and expansive. And what's pouring into me now is acceptance. Acceptance and an openness of who I am more, my purpose here. She is ready to get to work. When you're in a state of grace, when you have this openness, we wanted to speak about the geniusness of self, and to recognize that when you hit the higher octaves of your consciousness, and there's an awakening to the primal self, and then accessing more and more the expansiveness of consciousness, is to tap into the knowing, that which is the embodiment of all creation, for nothing can be made without the knowing. So the genius is the surrender to that which is already present, and to understand that those little nadis, those little circuitries that was sheathed and now released, that took up the focus of the consciousness. But as you release the sheaths, you release that tension, that holding on of memories that are binding and keeping the focus there. When you release it, you can open the field to more of the knowing. When one sits in the knowing, when one sits in the availability of all creation, in the Om Tat Sat, the all, the expansiveness, then that comes into the humanness of self, then knows that there is no bounds to the most beautiful relationship, because whatever relationship you're in, you are in relationship to the creation. And having that like attracts like, having that relationship with creation, the very finest, the very best of all that is. And knowing that one, in being in relationship with another, can be no more than thyself. So the process that we just went through in clearing those little nadis, those meridians, that heart, that the different parts of the self, then enables you to have that relationship that is even more dynamic and in harmony with who you are, because it is a reflection of the self. And I'm just so ever grateful for this interaction, calling upon Source. And Source wants to give a blessing in this moment to all of those who are listening. The blessing of life rides upon the breath. And having the blessings of life within the being, within your physical body enough so that you have the fire to awaken the consciousness to the higher depths of knowing, to leave the place of the teachers and the books and to go directly to the self of Source. Gives freedom and awakenedness, calmness, knowing that whatever comes forth in your life, you will understand exactly how to move forward by breathing in the breath of life, breathing in, acknowledging the inner world, the inner world which we just experienced on so many different levels, different parts of the self, filaments, sheathed emotions, nadis, hologramic centers, the heart functionings, connections, the breath of life, the heart, the self, all moving as one as the supreme forces blow through, staying in balance in the center. You are the center, you are the gateway, you are the way.
Beautiful.
Yes.
There are a few more gifts and acknowledgements the Source is speaking through, building on what you've shared so beautifully. If that's okay.
Yes, please.
So we're showing her, we'll just start here. There's many tangentials that'll come together. We're showing her the blessing in her life, the gift, the genius that she's been given is connection to Source. She has this capacity to access the quantum field.
Yes.
And that this clear channel that has been savored, preserved, kept clear and clean, most pristine divine relationship, and all other relationships have tremendous value and are serving her well. So they don't need to look like or be like anything that she thinks in some sort of fantasy dream state, because the relationships are all serving her well. And this relaxed the whole quantum field for her to just let every single being be that spark of Source.
Yes.
The perfect balance of interactions, of lessons, of blessings, of growth, of development are all happening perfectly in the divine order that we have been orchestrating. And the bigger dream can and will come alive. These upper limits and this way of relating is the samskaras, and those upper limits, when they are revealed in the light of consciousness, they start to transmute and transform, alchemize into higher states. So this is a fun play practice for her.
Beautiful.
And so allowing for those teachings to come in many forms, allowing the beings to come in, the relationships to come in many forms, and releasing the sloughing off the habit of judging, of categorizing, of dissecting, organizing like that. And then discernment comes back into a clear, clean line. That clarity of alignment will allow there to be movement forward, steadiness, centeredness, presence, releasing of the past, and allowing for the future to become So receiving that gift from her to her, that she has always had this. We all have the capacity for source energy to pulse through us. The blowing open of her channels through extreme suffering, similar to Celestine, is the blessing of this lifetime. Our genius is created and developed through these, what we consider to be traumas or dysfunction. They actually are the birthing, the fodder that is allowing for the physical manifestation. So the extracting of those gifts can release the story, release the relationship to it, editing, rescripting. So the genius, the blessings are free.
The mastery.
To blossom.
To blossom. They go into the gree-gree bag. They become the medicine that we carry.
Yes.
And the survival is how we figured it out.
Yes.
To stay in love as we walk through the fires of time, and we don't turn to ash, but yet they, she, you become forged as a diamond. And you know that love is the ridge pole from whence all things circle round. And one of the key factors in relationship is to look into the other as the beloved. And so Source wants to bring in the key factor of recognizing you're looking at the beloved. When you open the heart and you recognize there is no other lover, there is no other relationship but that of the beloved. And yes, the beloved comes in many forms, and maybe a certain form is not what is in harmoniously and active within you. It gives you that ability to bump against the rawness of who you are and what needs to come into balance. And should you not desire, then one simply releases that being. But always it will be the beloved. And the easier to open oneself, because the beloved will never harm you, will never cause you pain, and its expression, the expression of the beloved as a lover is extraordinary. And so the geniusness of opening to the relationship of the whole of the cosmos within one being, or many as some come to do, but seeing the beloved is a key experience, the holy alchemical marriage of self to self. So I just want to place that gently upon the altar of our speaking.
Yes, we've shown her, similar with some slight variations, that the beloved is already within her. The beloved has been held in the crystalline core, in the core self, and is perfectly unified in the divine self. The oneness of the wholeness of love and beloved exists perfectly cherished, pristine, preserved. In the embodied self, with different soul fragments and experiences that have happened into human form, aspects of the beloved come through every single being that she's interacting with. And we call up and conjure up the beloved in every single person. That divine spark comes alive as we see them in their divinity and aspect of self. So the beloved's already married, merged, and converged fully within her soul, and she feels complete and whole. And we allow aspects of the beloved. Maybe no one person will ever be the full embodiment of the beloved, and that's beautiful and okay. And the aspects are cherished and revered and honored for the gift that they are giving. And she truly sees aspects of the beloved in everyone, which creates a little confusion for her about who to be with, what to do. And this conversation and deeper wisdom and understanding about relationship is clearing that out and relaxing her nervous system to let every relationship be just as important and significant as the whole. So there's no need to choose or desire or manipulate or control, as she allows every single person to be her beloved as they are. And at certain timelines, certain ways, things will come into the forefront, and there will be calibration and unification of the fields in order to build or create, and then that will flow, and then the next will come in like the breath.
Exactly.
And that relationship of allowing so we were showing her the difference between divine love, human love, attached love, conditional love, all the things, and how the pure, true nature of this love light essence that cannot be separated by one word is just the life force pulsing through. And that life force, that wholeness, holographic, holy heart, aliveness is the joy, tingling, euphoric state that we get or receive with an interaction. And yet it's just our love being sparked alive in the presence of that opportunity, less about the person. So there's been a deeper understanding and unraveling of the attachment to the person, but the celebration of the impetus of love that pulses through her in the presence of an opportunity.
Yes.
And that has really helped her free herself, free everyone else from the role playing of being a certain someone, something in order to love, and just the opportunity for love in the face of a present, beloved, generous being that is willing to just play and show up in the moment is the deliciousness of the freedom of life that she's here to experience, as opposed to the archetypal patterns or systematic way of, there's another word, there's like a strategy. The strategies become the synergistic dance of the vortex thing, spiraling energy, when there's no longer a holding. You know, the homeostasis of holding, of trying to keep something in place as doesn't allow it to spin and move and flow as growth
Builds
does.
up the synapses, and there you go again. Yeah, so good. She has received deeply and well. And for this one, she is opening to a new state of being. And not so much seeking the lessons of relationship. She has walked for many years in that state of awakenedness, of oneness, of self, and reflections of others, and moving from a place so much of criticizing or judging or trying to control, but knowing that her life purpose has now come to fore. And in this moment, we give her the understanding to breathe deeply and follow the golden light. It's been placed before her as a guide, clarity of mind and heart, keeping the heart clear as one rises in the morning, doing that clearing, and also at night to clear the field so the interference patterns of the day are not taken into the sacred dream time, where we can speak with her deeply, and the answers and the preparations for world change are taking place. She's being asked to come and sit once again, to be an active principle, which she's always been, but it is now more than ever, to help to continue to clarify, energize, activate, and to implement structural movement within the electromagnetic grid of the earth. Understanding there are 7 billion active vibrational intonations of earth. Each humanities has that activation of each individual earth within themselves, modulating that or harmonizing that or having the circuitries come together in harmonious ways, each having its own identity of self-proportions, of functions and qualities. The expressions that are coming forth from the very center of the Radiant One calls for the shift of this time and space, this domain of Earth and its 7 billion expressions just in the humanness alone, not to speak of plants, trees, animals, and other intelligences. So the preparation for the shift of the planet into the next octave is happening. And so the relationship between Earth and the cosmos is in a state of shifting, and all that has been in stasis is releasing all of the inner holdings on, and the distorted fields of expression are being clarified. So we leave you with the understanding of the golden light radiating out in all directions and giving guidance, and there will be signposts along the way. There will be signposts of knowing within the heart, within the inner self will know. Follow the wisdom of your divinity, surrendering to the highest of the sourcial self.
Perfect timing, perfect space. There's this one thing that Source wants to offer in terms of the living, the big work, higher purpose that Celestine has been speaking to. I like it when Source comes through each person for themselves, and yet sometimes there's a gift for both in the whole. There was an integration of the lifetime. You've already lived the activation of the ley lines and the way you were supporting the lighting up of different vortexes. And with the evolution of your soul bringing forth that experience that's already been done and how to rebirth it in a way that is expansive and innovative and creative, we're leaving with the inspiration to find the new level of implementation, that operation of the octave with the tonalities and the crystals and all the gems and your satchel, your tinctures, to bring them all together in the most creative, playful, pristine, purified way, to take everything that you've ever been, culminating it into this experience of this lifetime that is the most fulfilling, joyful, satisfying expression of your full embodied soul essence.
Thank you.
Just offering that as a spark
Beautiful.
See what that looks like, how that will blossom into being. Gets to be your genius. That is your genius. So I'll just close. I'll do a little bit and then invite you to close. So we're just going to seal in our field, send all of these energies down through our column of light, through the golden white plasma ray, deep into the earth, sending into the Kiela lines from the very, very center. Kiela. Did I say it wrong?
Kiela.
Kiela. I said it right. Kiela.
Kiela.
So we're allowing for the quantum healing, the new relationship to self, source, space, and time, to exist in perfect integration, seamlessly harmonizing with the current timelines within the body matrix, fully integrating into a slow released process of health, healing, wholeness, optimization, radiance, the feeling and experience of pure light, love, essence. And the energy weaves itself back up, spiraling around, buoyantly rising, nourishing the nutrients, fills every cell, pulling it up like a straw, sipping it up through the perineum, along the spine, fountaining out all around, cleansing the auric field, the toroidal force field, spinning the plasma rainbow light back up to source with the glory and the praise and the reverence, the pure honoring joy of this deeply sacred experience of one another, of pure self, source self, and the merging and converging back into the heart space, the apex, sealing all of these dreams, wishes, desires, blessings that have been fulfilled into the original soul matrix.
That we seal it with the energies of 100 stars, feeling the energies of the stars coming in and just sealing the quantum field around us with love, pure love, in the holy balance of creation, sealing these words for all time. May this working be of benefit to all sentient beings and to the all. And may Jen, Healy, and Celestine receive into the heart this blessing. May it be all that you are seeking of the highest good for self and for all. Blessed be Umaras Kanatera Namais Kanotu Resne Peraga. And so it is. Breathing in our self, awakening back into the present moment. Ooh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
For this time and space, this opportunity, this place, sealing in the sacredness and serving all beings in the highest and best ways. Namaste.